Hey guys, it's Lindsay, and today we're talking about my favorite topic, mobile productivity. Let's get into it. 5th generation iPad mini. Everything the iPad Air is in a smaller form factor, also with the equally good laminated retina display. It's everything you need in a mobile note-taking device. So I dig the Samsung Note series of phones because they give you stylus, big display, and you can write to your heart's content. But this stylus, the Apple Pencil, works better and is now integrated into this. So instead of investing in a folding phone that gives you the compromises of each category, you can have a smaller phone like an iPhone 11 and an iPad mini for the same amount of money. So you know me, primary computer is either a mobile phone or my trusty iPad Pro 9.7 inch. The performance difference between this with the Apple A12 Bionic chip versus my A9X in the iPad Pro is it's actually crazy. And the extra gig of RAM in here, 3 gigs versus the 2 gigs in my iPad Pro, means all of the apps that I use stay open for longer. So when you're switching between YouTube and you're going to Safari and you go back to YouTube, it actually picks up where you left off instead of just closing it. So iPadOS 13.1 did have a bug that was just aggressively closing apps in the background. That's been fixed now. iPadOS is just a beautiful thing. It gives you, importantly, access to some level of file management, and you can connect to your home server. So I have a NAS at home and I'm constantly moving files between things, and it just makes sense for that situation for me. But importantly, iPadOS brings us usable mouse support. So you can go from having your mobile note-taking and productivity device, because the screen really isn't that small. Like it's big enough to use it standalone with a mini keyboard. But now you can bring that home and you can plug it into a bigger display. You add a keyboard, Bluetooth mouse, and you're good to go. So when I said usable mouse support, so it thinks it's a finger, the accessibility features, and it's hidden pretty deep into the menu. It wants you to bring a Bluetooth device which you can only connect when you have touch assist active. So I've shortcutted it to a triple press of the home key. So when I'm moving modes from using it as an iPad to using it as a kind of workstation, I'm just hitting the home button 3 times and then it connects to the Bluetooth mouse that I'm using. So like I said, it thinks it's a finger. So it wants you to kind of long press and use haptic touch. It wants you to use the mouse as a finger, which is great and not so great at the same time. So while I still prefer the fine point accuracy of the Apple Pencil, it's great to have something that I can then use as a normal computer with a normal mouse. Like editing on LumaFusion, I can just use the mouse. And then if I'm making a thumbnail or I'm editing images, I can go to my chosen picture editing app and then really get down, even do some annotations or some drawings, some sketch work with the Apple Pencil. So instead of having a Wacom touchpad plus a different computer entirely, I can use Apple's really well integrated stylus functionality as a desktop monitor, and I don't need to do that weird thing where you have to touch onto the display if you want to navigate through the UI. So yeah, I've been using the iPad mini as my primary computer for everything. It's not really that big of a stretch for me. As you know, I'm a mobile first guy. I use Samsung DeX most of the time as my primary computer. This makes it a little bit better because I don't have a Note device, I have an S device because it's smaller and it has a headphone jack. Note 10 doesn't have a headphone jack, important for me. And I've come to like the iPad mini. I used to dismiss it as a lesser device, because if you want an iPad, you want the full iPad experience. You want to kick back, you want to sit with it like it's a magazine. You want it sprawling open in front of you. But in mini form, I find myself using this a lot more because now I'm using it as a notepad. And it's not as intrusive as a full-size iPad is. Like I'm very calm if I'm in a boardroom situation to pull out my iPad because it looks like I'm just busy on my iPad. Whereas this, people can actively see I'm interacting with it like a notebook. With Apple Notes integrating into Google so you can see all your Apple Notes in your Gmail app, that's kind of the dream scenario for me. Yes, you're not getting all the hand recognition smarts that Samsung's built into the Note 10, which is really, really great. You're not getting that handwriting to text on the fly integrations, but I'm sure that will come. I'm sure Microsoft will start opening up that to iOS developers as well. But this is just a great size, man. And it's an LCD display, it's a Retina display, it's the highest PPI on an iPad at the moment. It doesn't have the high refresh rate of the iPad Pros, but importantly for me, I own an Apple Pencil. It has Apple Pencil support, so I can do all of that. It's just now me having to go to a smaller size and just having to hunch over a little bit more when I'm in a coffee shop. But it's a fully featured iPad, man, and it fits in my tiny little messenger bag that I've reduced my entire workflow into. It has a headphone jack, and I have lightning connectors, so I can connect it to HDMI. I have the camera kit, so I can plug in external storage. With all the power of iPadOS in this sort of form factor, rocking that class-leading silicon, this is all I need. And I think this might be my next computer. I know I said it about the iPad Air, and I've been saving up some money, but for $3,000 less, I have everything I need right in the palm of my hand. But that's just my opinion, and I'm some crazy dude who tries to push all his productivity onto mobile devices. Shooting this on an LG G8S ThinQ, using an iPad as my primary computer, when I'm not using my Galaxy S10 as my primary computer, plugging it into its desktop when I'm at home. It is possible, and this is what we should be expecting for devices that are costing us ever more money. It's high-end smartphones, you in for at least 15,000 Rand. iPad mini, 7,000 Rand. Bluetooth peripherals, couple of hundred Rands. The most ludicrously expensive thing in this whole setup is the Apple Pencil, which is now selling for 1,500 Rand, 1,600 Rand, depending on where you're shopping. And I can get everything done if I don't actively have to design a page layout for a magazine. And you can too. You're spending a lot of money on personal computing devices. They should be working harder for you. And we should be streamlining our workflows to be more mobile so that we can spend more time interacting with people and less time lugging our tech around. Devices like this get out of my way easier. It's just a quick interaction, in my bag, out of my bag. I don't want to spend too much time on it. When I need to, I can take it, change its mode, take it to a bigger display. And this is what we should be expecting from things we're spending so much money on. Our mobile devices are powerful now, supercomputers in our pocket. We should start treating it that way. We should start expecting it to be able to handle all of our productivity needs. And I think you deserve that. iPad mini, man, it's a good deal.